I also point to some concrete ways that we could potentially address this, in our culture through child rearing. Have some suggestions. I touched on some of those, but child rearing being key, bringing a sort of an awe-based reflection period to the work setting for those who are bold and willing enough to provide that. Let's say even an hour and a half a week, gathering workers in an intimate setting to reflect more deeply on what it is they're doing, the meaning of their work for themselves, for their communities, for those they serve. Having a depth facilitator, doesn't have to be a psychologist, but somebody who's very adept at supporting people to be more present with each other and engage in present-centered conversation, to hold the container of the group. I realize some of these things are subversive to a lot of folks. That's why they'd all have to be pilot projects. Let's see what happens. And we do have some research that indicates that if workers feel more connected to their work, if they feel more engaged at work, the productivity goes up. The communal feeling increases. The company often profits from it as well, as a byproduct. Bringing it into the educational system through the kind of things that Jim was doing with his culture class. Having kids enact stories through history, maybe not just talk about them, but enact critical moments, when Socrates was questioning the businessman in Athens, and that kind of dialogue that took place, and how does it relate to their own lives? What does this mean for you and Johnny or Mary? What does this mean for, what you're learning in school? I mean, a lot of possibilities with it. Or having kids learn about how cultures throughout history have developed a sense of awe, as well as how they've become awe-depleted and devitalized. Learning about cultures in that very direct way of what have others through history done to really become more alive? And what have they done to smash that, And it exposes kids more to history and cross-cultural wisdom. More field trips, I'd say. More critical dialogue about contemporary problems that they're experiencing in their families, in their communities. It could be much more alive, it seems to me, in that way, and more awe-based in that way.